What is up, everybody? Welcome. I'm super excited for today's session. It's the Seven-Figure Agency podcast where we interview successful digital marketing agency owners from across the country. And today we've got a really special session with some really special guests. I'm super excited to have Azhar, Athar, and Yawar with us from RepStack, longtime members of the Seven-Figure Agency, now running a multiple seven-figure business. But without further ado, let me kind of introduce these guys, let them tell you their backstory. And if you've got questions on how they were able to grow from zero to multiple seven figures and impacting thousands of digital marketing agencies across the country, please get those questions ready, post them in the comments. So guys, thanks so much for being on here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, Josh. It's a pleasure. I guess we are what you call a homegrown success story because, usually you'd have members who'd come in who are at a particular point in their journey inside a digital marketing agency. And we were able to go actually from zero to, multiple seven figures in under 2 years. And, that's, I guess, a bit of a different story. And then, we were able to carve out a niche after talking to you as well. So, yeah, we got an amazing story to tell. I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in finding out how Josh Nelson kind of, played the Godfather and got RepStack going and all of that stuff. So, yeah, glad to be here.
So before we start, just kind of give us the lay of the land. Kind of how much revenue, how many clients served, kind of what's the current status, and then we'll kind of go back to where you started and how you got there.
So since we started, I'm glad to say that you were our client number one, Josh, back 2 years ago. But since then, we've been able to service over 500 digital marketing agencies, and our revenue is just shy of $200,000 a month right now. And all of this stuff has happened over the last 2 years. Actually, in fact, my brother Athar is there with Yawar in Islamabad, Pakistan, celebrating our second year anniversary. So we just turned 2, and it's been an incredible, life-changing journey. And right now we have just over 200 people inside RepStack. When I joined the 7FA group back in the day, I had my own digital marketing agency, which I still run in Calgary, Canada, the Legacy Agency. And it was just me, myself, and I. And I was really working with subcontractors. So I was just like one employee. So going from one employee to, just over 200 people over the last 2 years with around $200,000 in revenue, servicing over 500 digital marketing agencies. It's just been an incredible journey.
Amazing. What a story. Tremendous, guys. Put tremendous or wow in the comments if, in that short period of time, they were able to develop that level of growth. And what's really cool is that you guys are really impacting agencies and giving them the ability to get the work done, to have that extra pair of hands that they need, which we'll be getting into here in a second. But I want to make sure we get introduced to each of you. So if you can just kind of introduce who you are and kind of what your main role in the business is today, then we'll dive into it.
Yeah. So I'm the chief executive officer, and the hardest part of my job is to take care of these two here, who are my brothers. Also, we have added layers of complexity over here. When you work with family, so we're all three of us. If you guys can't tell, we're brothers. We grew up together, and the biggest part of my job is that I get to manage Athar and Yawar, who respectively run. Go ahead, Yawar.
Yeah, so I'm looking after HR and finance, and I do mainly the running around and that kind of part for the business, because I was always on ground in Pakistan. That's where we started from. Now we're looking into Philippines, Bangladesh, and Nepal as well. But that's where we started from. So I'm running the show on ground. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, so Yawar Siddiqui. Basically, I'm the US link. I'm based out of Wilmington, Delaware. I go around and work with sales, technical operations. That's our SOPs and all our, software. Of course, last but not least, our client success team. That's the ones, our account managers, basically. And they're the ones who deal with each one of our clients and our associates. So they're kind of, working through both. They are two-edged sword of our account managers. So that's my end of the story.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you guys all on with us. And, yours is a little bit different, right? Usually when I interview people on this show, it's, hey, I'm a digital marketing agency serving this niche, and like, this is how much revenue we do, and this is how we did it. You guys are actually providing, VA services or executive services, as you call it, to these agencies. If you could just kind of walk us through what your deliverable looks like so that everybody can connect the dots.
So our basically, Josh, our mission is to provide growth-oriented and passionate digital marketing agencies with workforces, with associates or VAs who benchmark with the best workforces in the world. And so basically what that means is that, we are really focused on working with digital marketing agencies, and we only work with digital marketing agencies, and we only fulfill 4 roles. It used to be 3, but back in July, you kind of pushed us to start offering executive assistants as well. So now we have the 4th role. So the 3 roles that we started out were marketing associates, sales development reps, account managers, and now we also provide executive assistants for people who are, 50,000 going to 7 figures and things like that. They should also have solid executive assistant type person who can take care of their calendaring, their emails, and social media, which a lot of us kind of fall behind on as the businesses grow. But having said that, Josh, one thing I really want to point out here is that even though I came into 7-figure agency to really get going with my own agency, and I was on the verge of breakthrough because I got so many breakthroughs early on with the 7FA program. And then one of these things that really turned out was the virtual assistant services, and there was a real need in the market. And you kind of raised your hand to be really our guinea pig at that time, which we couldn't have asked for more, and the rest is history. But how we really became successful was using all the same things that you teach in the on-ramp program, for example, and then the mastery, launching our email outreach campaign, for example, getting into paid ads as we started making some revenue and things like that. So everything to date that we do is all from the 7FA program, which you really teach to your audience, and we really eat our own dog food here, right? So we couldn't have done it without those key campaigns, which are still the core of our business. And the last thing that I'd like to point out is that, you're working with digital marketing agencies. We're also working with digital marketing agencies. And, it's really, these agency owners are selling to the rest of the world right now. These guys are going and, they have clients in HVAC, they have clients in real estate and all different niches and things like that. And these guys are doing marketing for the rest of the world. And we are doing marketing so that these guys would come and buy from us. So it's not that easy. So, we have proof of concept from the 7FA side that all of these techniques work. And the reason we've been able to scale so fast is because we were able to go ahead and implement everything that you taught. And anybody who's coming new to your program, I would highly recommend that, just stick with the program, implement what Josh is teaching here, and you too will have a really, really fiery and fast success.
Love it. Yeah, and if I think back, kind of the issue was we had our on-ramp and our Kickstart training, which is to get people started, and there was a lot of training on, okay, here's how you get your list, here's how you clean the list, here's how you send the emails, here's how you should be calling. And the agencies got it, but they were so busy, they didn't have time to do it. It's like, okay, well, I need someone that can do that stuff for me. And, to try and hire a U.S. person to do that was just cost prohibitive, and nobody wanted to stay in that type of role long term. So even if they found someone that would do it, it was like they would hire them, train them, they would get a couple of clients going from it, and then that person would want to move into some other area in the business. And so when you guys said, look, we've got great talent, like literally college, educated, sometimes master degree educated people that we can put into these positions at an affordable cost that will really be passionate about doing this and do it at a world-class level, I think is the key to how all this works. Like started with just, I need a marketing assistant. And it was like, hey, I need someone to actually do some appointment setting and making some calls. then, hey, I've got these clients. I need someone to do account management and kind of manage the relationships and the back and forth. And it's like, hey, I'm really busy as the executive of this business. I'm really busy checking my emails and managing my calendar. I need an executive assistant. And you guys kind of, as the agencies have grown, have filled in all of those gaps with the people that you can place.
Yeah, not only
the hassle out of hiring, right? So we know it's a human element, and there's always guesswork, right? So what we have boots on ground here. That's what Yawar HR is, So we have actual people, and then we have our success. The main I think secret sauce that we have for success is our RepStack Success Academy, which is a lot of successes here, I guess. But what happens is, we hire them first a month before even, or maybe some in cases 3 to 4 months before they see a client. So what we're looking for is attitude and communication skills, right? So other than that, everything, we can teach them, and we see, okay, is this person a leader? We don't want someone who's just going to come in and do the same daily grind. They're always going to be the mindset with growth. That's our whole mantra, basically, that we want to make sure that our associates are growing with your company, So, and then at one point, they can build a team within the associates, and we're here to supporting. We're training them. We're making sure they have, all the, basically upper middle class level, facilities that they can avail with their pay, and we want them to keep growing. Like, your associate, he's growing. I just say basically to everybody, we have life before Josh Nelson and life after Josh Nelson. That's how much we have impacted us. And just the way you open your books up, right? We didn't have to kind of try and fail. We had everything working. And that also, I think, points out to a really good fact that it's your process and systems. They're universal. They can work with any. I know your focus is digital marketing agencies, but it's basically the same, business as usual, one-on-one foundations. They work across all agencies, but basically. So that was, I think, my say on our, we take the hassle out of hiring.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. So
I would like to mention here is that I've been attending masterminds for like 2 years now, and there has never been an occasion where we feel the disconnect that, all right, we are not an agency, so we might not be able to do this activity. So we're always connected because it's really for everybody. So, it just makes you connect. So I'm sure if it's not only us, if there are other slightly different than agency businesses as well, they might be doing well with this as well.
Yeah, and one thing, and I'm seeing some questions coming as well. Kathy pointed out a really good question. During our initial days, Josh, we were, Yawar was on the ground and we were having trouble finding the right type of people. And Athar said that, we wanted to look at the right mindset. But early on, all of these things were really, really difficult. But as we started growing and we kind of figured out which people are really successful with agency owners like yourself, we found out that, having the right mindset, a leadership mindset and a coachable personality is like extremely, extremely important, because everything else you can teach, and teach we did. So what we do now is that from 2 years ago to now, we've invested heavily in one of our programs called RepStack Success Academy. So we hire these people with usually from 1 to 2 years of experience, either in sales or account management or digital marketing, and we bring them inside our RepStack Success Academy. And our hiring processes are also extremely brutal, because most of our clients are looking for extremely clean English. We're looking at work ethic and all of these things before we hire them. So pre-screening processes, usually sometimes it takes 1 to 3 months just to get through our hiring process. And then another 1 to 3 months inside RepStack Success Academy, where they're going through some of your courses, for example. So they're pre-trained on how to clean up a list, how to launch, set up and launch a cold email outreach campaign, for example, which are some of the things that we just talked about, right? So these guys are spending time learning, not only learning, but we're keeping an eye on them, because we're using programs like Time Doctor, and we're doing one-on-one trainings. And if somebody is not going to be able to, we know now who are the people who are going to be able to work long-term and connect with the teams. Once we've sorted out those things, and only then we are able to take these people in front of our clients, and which, we're like in a very humble situation where usually we have a waiting list of 15 to 30 clients who are always constantly waiting to get an associate from us. So, in my agency days, it was always running after the clients. In this particular business, it's we're in a very fortunate situation where we usually have a client waiting list, and we can't provide these people fast enough. And that's because we're focusing on getting the right people in with the right mindset, then taking them through these trainings, keeping a close eye on these people, and making sure that they have the leadership mindset and they have coachable personalities. Because once they have these things, once they go on to a team like yours or any other digital marketing agency, they're going to have a great time culturally connecting with those teams. And like, if you can read my hoodie, it says Agency Future Leaders, and that's what we're really, really all about. Like, these guys will come in as in an entry level role, but if we've done our job properly, Josh, these guys should be able to move up in the ranks really, really fast. And we're seeing that all around us right now. We're only 2 years old right now. But just an example, for example, we have a client, Lynn Askin, who's also a member of your agency. He started out with Asma Khan, one of our account managers, as an assistant account manager. And, over the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, she's been able to move up to not only managing all the account managers, but also training the new account managers who are coming in. So now we're seeing success stories across the board, because that's the type of the person we want to bring in. But also the agency owner, on the other hand, is extremely important. If we weren't not working with people like you, who can give these people the same level playing field, and that's our purpose, which is to level the playing field for digital marketing agency specialists based on merit. And usually what happens is that, people are getting penalized because they're outside of the US. In some cases, that's okay, because, obviously there's that pay difference and all of that stuff. But, when somebody, for example, like Henry Adams, who's your associate, who's over 2 years, you give him the same access to commissions as your local teams get. And that's a life-changing event for a person like Henry Adams, because he's making that money sitting in Pakistan. He's making the same amount of commissions.
Big dollars, big dollars.
Big dollars in Pakistan, right? So that's completely changed life for our people. And also, I think it's extremely fulfilling for the right clients when these people go out there and they're able to go in from an appointment setter to a sales executive over the course of 2-year period. It's a humbling experience for us, to say the least.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's a couple things I want to get into. One thing I'd love to have a conversation about is usually when people think about these types of employees, they're usually, or you think about international talent, most digital marketing agencies think typically the Philippines. You guys are in Pakistan. You've had great success in Pakistan. Can you talk a little bit about why it's such a great place to recruit, hire, and run a virtual team?
Yeah, I'd like to just start out with giving example of myself and my brother Athar.
Yeah.
Athar, we both came to the US from Pakistan, getting similar type of education. Like, our early education was all done back home in Pakistan. So we knew the type of people we have there. When we came over to the United States and I moved over to Canada, we got the same level playing field over here, and we were able to go in and make, the amount of money we were making in, Athar, work for JP Morgan and Chase up until last year. We're, fortunate enough to, scale back from that job as well, at a VP level. And, and we're both making amount of money, which is, in the top 10 percentile of the American and the Canadian populations. So when we come here with the same type of educations, and when we get this level playing field, we're able to do these amazing things and make a good amount of living and things like that. So, Athar a few years ago kind of came up with the idea that we should really do something with our people. And that's how RepStack was born. So we knew that, our people, the schools that we have, we feel that we have in that particular area, Philippines, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan included, Sri Lanka in some cases, we feel that we have the cleanest accents over there. We feel that we have the best leadership mindset in that particular area. So, those things combined together, that's why we kind of put together the type of people that we place are usually in client-facing roles, like account managers. Like usually digital marketing agency owners won't think about placing account managers in a country like Philippines because, they're concerned about the language and things like that. But, me and my brother can come out here and do these things ourselves in being physically present in North America. We were confident that our people would be able to do it. And we have so many test cases now where, our director of sales right now, Josh, she's closing $20,000-$30,000 contracts on a daily basis sitting in Pakistan, and nobody complains about her English. So we knew this for a fact, but I think Athar or Yawar may have something to add to this point as
Yeah,
well.
I'll add something to that. The best part about this is, Josh, that maybe our adaptability to the American accent is pretty, up there. Otherwise, no offense to, of course, India, Philippines, Bangladesh. They have great talent as well. The other thing that is good is that we are targeting the top 5 colleges in Pakistan. So all these people that you're having in this group are top 5 people. Like we have people from the top university of Pakistan as well. Then this second, there's the HR lady who's from the second best university. Then there are lots of them who are from the third, fourth, fifth universities. So this is top talent from Pakistan. So I mean, if you're talking about leadership mindset, it's right there. They know that they're not going to be. We had a roadshow yesterday, and I was talking to all of them based in Islamabad and Karachi, and I was just telling them that we thought that it was something of a data entry thing that we're starting, but it's not that. It has become such huge talent pool that even if we want to, we might not be able to stop you guys now because you're up there. You're working with the top agencies in US. So these guys are crushing it. And Azhar gave a couple of examples. I have like 20 more examples with me right now. So which like heading the project team, people heading like 6-people team. So it's going crazy. So this talent is something actually. Yeah.
And just one last thing, and I think maybe one of the most important things I think that we hit, which we didn't foresee, which was like 65 to 70% of our associates, they're all women, right? So we have this top talent of women in Pakistan, and they wouldn't want to be going to work at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and coming home at 2-3 a.m. So they're working Eastern Shore hours. They're working our agency's hours, right? They're West Coast, some in Australia, so they can work from their home, and we were able to tap this talent pool. Right now I have a team of 4 salespeople, leaders, basically all ladies. The women they run the show. I'm just part of their group. I was actually making a video for them. That thanks for me being part of the team. I have 8 account manager, client success team. They're all ladies. So we're lucky. That's something we tapped into because we provide work from home. The other part that we do, Ray, we talk about all these soft skills and stuff, but we have boots on the ground and we have a lot of infrastructure perspective. So anytime internet goes down, we have these devices on the ground. We have these technical operations team we have 5 panels of internet service providers. We know which area has the best internet. We have these internet checks. Something goes down, we have a backup and a backup of backup. Because the first concern that someone from sales perspective gives us is internet. That's our bread and butter. That's our kind of heartbeat. If that's not there, so we have kind of everything covered, and this is in 2 years, but we're still learning, right? And every time something happens, we keep improving. Because our associates, the ones that we provide, I think they've earned it, that we give them the support that they need. Because in any little things, like something like internet in 2022, that should not be a problem, and we made sure it is not.
Love it. Yeah. So lots of good reasons, like why Pakistan, right? It's a really good people, really hard workers, and you guys are able to really kind of look at that top tier talent that in the United States would cost potentially high 6 figures. You're able to get there and place them into your agency. So that's kind of why Pakistan. I'd love to have a little conversation around, why use a service like RepStack when you think, hey, I want to go hire an international team member, right? You've got a lot of options. You go to Upwork, you can, go find someone directly and hire them. What are some of the benefits from you guys' perspective? And I can talk to my perspective on why go through a service like RepStack.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, we kind of have this sweet spot, Josh, and there are we're doing around 120 discovery calls with agency owners, and we're not able to qualify everyone. So we do give them some options where if somebody wants to hire part-time, for example, we only provide full-time people. Our people work in, where there's a scope of growth for that particular associate, because we want to place these people as a true part of that particular agency's culture and a long-term team member. We don't want to just come in and place for somebody for 6 months and things like that. We want to take care of our associates' experience as well. So when those situations arise, we point people out to Upwork, we point people out to onlinejobs.ph and things like that, where you can still go ahead and find quality talent. And then there's the other side of the spectrum, which is, local markets. And we recently did some research in specifically 3 markets: Tampa, Florida. We did some research in Austin, Texas, and we did some research in Seattle, Washington. And we found that, for the key roles that we're providing, at RepStack, our price point is around $14 an hour, which is, like in the VA world, it's unheard of. But we still have a waiting list on this price point, and we only do full-time people. And the reason is that, we're really benchmarking with the local US markets right now. So, when you take a look at our contract, which is around, $26,000 a year, compared to Tampa, Austin, and Seattle, where you'd have to go out and hire a marketing assistant or an account manager, is around 70 grand, for example, $65,000 to $70,000. On top of that, there's, the taxation, there's commissions you'll be paying on top of that. Our contract's coming in at $26,000, and we have, proof of concept already, where these guys are already doing amazing. Our entire client success team is based out of Pakistan, and they're managing amazing digital marketing agency clients and things like that, sitting from there. And then these guys are doing an amazing job for their clients when they go on board. So there's a huge difference. When you compare us to local market hires, that's where we want our clients to compare us. There's still a saving of 30, 40, sometimes even higher grand a year, where you can have 2 to 3 people from us who are still going to be world class. They're going to be able to take care of your clients, and these guys are really going to come in as a long-term proper team fit for you guys. So these guys are going to be part of your team's culture, and they're going to be able to live and breathe your organization's values. So that would be the biggest difference, Josh, where we're in the middle on the price points, even still closer to the VA pricing. But when it comes down to somebody that you're looking for example, if you go hire somebody from Upwork, they might be working multiple contracts at the same time. You have no control over that. With RepStack, it's in their contracts that at one point, we're only giving out this person to only one client. They're not going to anywhere to another agency. So there's no chance of them moonlighting or anything like that. We got those controls placed early on inside Pakistan, so that these guys can go in and live and breathe a particular digital marketing agency's culture. So I think that's the biggest differentiator. This person can come in and become a true team member and really connect with the rest of your team, and not only grow themselves, but actually become a leader over the course of 6 months, 1 year, 2 years time.
Love it. Yeah, I think you hit all the right points. In my mind, using a service like RepStack versus just going to the internet, right? One of your biggest costs is going to be a bad hire, right? You waste time hiring them, training them, putting them in place. You spend a lot of time and energy, and you could get somebody good or you could get somebody terrible. The beautiful part about using a service like you guys is that market. Where the talent pool exists. You've got a waiting list of people that you can kind of put into certain roles within the company. I think that's powerful. I think having a managed layer, as an agency with 5, 10, 100, team members, let's just say, trying to manage that yourself is one thing, but knowing you've got a service like RepStack that's helping to keep a pulse on your team member and make sure that they're being productive and that they're submitting their daily recaps really makes a big difference, and that they've got the right infrastructure to be productive. I think the third thing that's really underscored is the training that they get, right? The beautiful thing about, what you guys do is you pre-train them in the functions that they're going to need to do. Like if it's a marketing assistant, they understand how high level works and some of the other systems. They understand how to pull together email lists and send emails. And they've got a network of other assistants that work in other agencies that can help solve problems. And so I think to me, like, yeah, you could maybe pay a little bit less and hire somebody off the open market, but you're probably going to wind up with somebody that's not productive. We're going through RepStack. You're going to get a very high success rate with a very productive person that is going to know what they're doing and can be trained and really stay with you long term and have an immediate impact in your organization.
Yeah, we invest early on quite a bit heavily, Josh. So these guys get full salaries from day one, even when they're going through our trainings and things like that. And the biggest reason is exactly what you said, right? That we want to make sure that the experience on both sides of the table for the associate and the agency owner is impeccable. And the only way we can do that is by getting in right people. So just imagine, like I just told you, the amount of time it takes for, in some cases, it's like 4 to 6 months before these associates, they join RepStack and they see a face of a client. So that's a lot of time and effort we're spending on making sure their work ethic is good to go, making sure their trainings are good to go, making sure they have their mindset, not even just the trainings on CRMs like high level and some of 7FA trainings, but we're also giving them cultural trainings, Josh, where the cultural nuances, because me and Athar spent 20 years in North America. We understand how things work over here, right? So bringing that side to the table and making sure that these guys' executive presence is up to mark, because the worst thing is that we know for a fact that these guys can deliver at the same quality, but what happens is that if your internet's shaky, if your lighting is not good, if you're not dressed up properly, things like that, that kind of is my analogy recently has been that your entire team at your particular agency is going to dinner with the boss, and everybody gets to sit at the big boy chair and you get to sit at the child's chair, right? But just because of these your executive presence is not there. So we make sure that these things are, when our person joins your team, they're going to be able to represent your agency like at the quality that you expect. They're going to be able to go out in front of your clients and really with confidence deliver what you want them to deliver, right? So we take care of all of these things so that you don't have to, our clients don't have to. And go ahead, Athar. Looks like you got a point to make there.
We don't stop there, right? So this is all about until they come to you. So I think when you ask why RepStack, that is where my team starts, client success team. We don't throw over, like an associate and hope it sticks. From day one, our associates are onboarded in the Slack with our account manager, client success, with the client. So anything that's happening, communication, we're there. And if they need some questions, they need some guidance, as you said, we have 100 other associates doing the same thing. We have this network of making sure that they get the job done and they understand the job. And if they need more training, we keep going. We have a growth path. We want to make sure our associates, we don't want them to stay at the same level. We want to make sure they have a growth path too, as the agency is growing. So our client success team is I think what's the major, the glue. Then once we have the associate place, they keep it there. They are, they're working day in, day out. We're having huddles weekly, with the one-on-one. They're making sure they understand, if there's some communication with the client or something's missing, we're there, So I think our client success team plays a vital role there too.
Yeah, love it, love it. So if you're watching this or you're listening to it, and you're a digital marketing agency owner and you're thinking, man, I need some additional support. Maybe it's in the marketing and sales side, right? I'm not getting my consistent prospecting done. I'm not getting enough appointments. RepStack can be a great fit. Or maybe you're on the other side where you're like, what? I've got deal flow going, but I don't have enough support to serve the clients and make sure that they're seeing the reports and they understand the value. RepStack can help place really quality account management staff into your company that can plug right in and have an impact. Guys, this isn't a sales pitch for RepStack. We're going to talk about other things, but like if they wanted to learn more about how to use you guys' services, what would the next step be?
That's a repstack.co, I guess. Just go onto our website, check us out, and book a discovery call. I think the biggest thing when you guys come through our process is going to be, Josh, that our sales team is going to really sit down with you and help you really clear things up on what your next hire should be. Lately I've got this, and this is one of the things that, growing up, especially in the North American culture, I've had the opportunity to work at some corporations as well. And, we hear about hire slow and fire fast. right? So though that's, it's fine and dandy maybe 10 years ago. However, I feel that especially some of us agency owners, and I'm a 14-year-old agency veteran myself, and I've made the same mistakes. So it's coming from my own experiences, that sometimes when we make the wrong decision of hiring a person maybe preemptively, or somebody we shouldn't have hired, we hire behind this saying that hire slow and fire fast, and it creates a really bad experience for that person on the other side of the table who's letting it let go, because we didn't think through. So what I've been saying lately is that you should really be hiring smart and firing based on culture and values. And by what I mean by hiring smart is that just make sure that you have some systems and processes in place for a new person who's going to coming and joining your family, like you did, Josh. Like you have 3 people, I think 4 people from us, and all of them are approaching 2-year mark with your agency. It's not that's hiring smart. That's not hiring slow. You hired when you needed these people, and you had those processes in place. And when these people came in, they had an onboarding, they had a pathway to success. Once you have those type of systems in place, that's what I mean by hiring smart. By all means, hire people when you need them. But and I've made similar mistakes where when sometimes I think that I want to grow my digital marketing agency, the first thought comes to us, I'm going to go out and hire a salesperson. No, you don't want to hire a salesperson. Have you looked at your own marketing first? The first hire you should be doing is a marketing assistant, maybe, so that they can put together those key marketing campaigns. And then you bring in that sales development rep so that they can work on some pre-qualified sales deals and things like that. So so just let's get away from some of these excuses, and give the other people a chance by having some of these systems in place. And then when you start bringing in people, you'll see that every person is going to bring in, you can actually some of our people, you can go down to the dollar value that one of our people, which is costing around $26,000, at least adds $200,000 to $300,000 in annual revenue for our clients. And we've done the math here, right? So I'm not just pulling this out of my hat. So by all means, come to our website, repstack.co. What we'll do is that we'll give you clarity on your next hire, first of all, and then you'll also walk away with a world-class job description, which you can actually take. Even if you don't hire from us, you can actually take it to onlinejobs.ph. You can actually post it on monster.com or some of the local hiring platforms, and you can use that job description to hire your next superstar. So just go through that process. I think it'll be an eye-opener for sure.
Love it. So good. So we've learned a little bit about why Pakistan. We learned about why RepStack a little bit. Is it okay with you guys if we shift gears a little bit? You guys manage now hundreds and hundreds of teams. Give me a 1 in the comments if you'd like to get some best practices on managing a virtual team, right? And this can apply really well to international team, but it could apply to a U.S. team as well. So if you guys had to give me like 2 or 3 really good tips on what it takes to manage a world-class virtual team, what would those be?
Athar, you want to take that?
From the client success perspective. So of course we have all the softwares and everything in place, right? We do these random spot checks for the internet. We have Time Doctor, but the time the associate gets to the client, the Time Doctor should not be, it's just, like a tick mark for us, because we want to make sure that our clients are satisfied. But the other part of the story is, I think, that our client success managers, they work with the associates day in, day out. Sometimes if you go into those calls, they're working with them like, with their pen in the air, and they're like trying to make sure that they understand everything, right? They want to make sure that we don't ask them, okay, are you going to be able to do this deliverable, right? We ask, do you even know, right? Nobody knows everything. We are humans, right? That's why we have this constant learning curve. We're like, okay, my slogan is the PG version of it is like, I don't know anything about everything, right? Nobody knows. So once you go in, we make sure that, first we ask, do you understand? If they don't, then we place someone who has already done it, right? Then we say, okay, this is done. And then we also, of course, want to train our clients. That what Azhar said, they should have systems and processes set. Something that you haven't done, you cannot ask someone else to do, because there's no benchmark, right? We have to make sure you set up, okay, this is show and tell kind of something. So if you haven't closed 5 deals yourself, don't hire a salesperson and say, make me rich, right? That's not going to happen. We want to make sure they have a pathway to success like, I think I'm going to go back again, because the way you did it, you trained our associates internally first, and then you had the process. You had like, it was just like, yellow brick road, like, so that was like really good. That's what we want to make sure, that our client success team is working with the client side, with the associate side, and we're like one team. You don't actually get, we don't sell you, or, we don't have the service of associates. We become partners with you, because the client success is as, into your company, and day in, day out with the associate, as is the associate. So that's, I think we take, make sure we take the responsibility of the deliverable that's going to the client.
And I think in the work,
I would like to add here is, Josh, we've worked really hard on the culture.
Yeah.
We really put a foot on that, because when we started, we didn't know much about how, maybe in a remote environment, company, how would you, put up culture. So culture is something that we've really focused on. I mean, it's open door policy. Everyone's available to everybody, and everybody's like a family. I mean, to me, everybody's family. We were together for 4 days, last 4 days, and it was such an amazing feeling. Like people coming up to us, and they want to tell their stories. They want to tell how successful they're being. So which is amazing. I mean, it's a humbling experience, and I think it has been the backbone of our company, the culture of promoting others and giving them the opportunity to perform at the world-class stage.
And we made this decision early on, Josh, that we were going to stay 100% virtual. A lot of options are available where people kind of bring people together inside one office, like in Philippines and even in Pakistan and things like that. But for us to get access to the right type of talent, number one, and also let people kind of put them in a leadership role, right? Like we trust them that they can work from their own homes and things like that. So we had to kind of and then just because of this, we had to have a lot of processes in place, like for their internets and things like that, and their home work environments. Like Athar and Yawar are sitting at our home office in Pakistan right now, and we spend some time and effort in getting that office up and running, and we expect similar peaceful work environments for our associates. And so having that as a part of our culture, it was really, really important. And then also we do certain things inside internally, like using Karma Connects. Karma is an app that you can get on Slack, where you can give out points to people who are helping each other out and things like that. So we made that really helped us out. We do our virtual coffee breaks every 2 weeks, where everybody in the company is invited to a virtual coffee break, and we have this hour-long coffee break where people get to do talent shows, and everybody gets to have fun and things like that. So in virtual environments, and we have this thing called our employee satisfaction score as well, Josh. We've been able to implement that for the last 1 year, and one of the things that people constantly talk about is that they want to feel connected, and especially in this virtual environment. That was a great question, because now you're based out of Tampa or Seattle or Austin, and you have this team based out of Pakistan or Philippines. How do you connect with them? My suggestion is, make them leaders, and make them a part of your team's culture. Make them involved in the things that you guys are doing, like you do, Josh. You give your people the same access to not only commissions, but I see when your people are on vacation, your team in Miami are commenting on their social media posts and how's the vacation in Turkey going and things like that, right? So that's what it is. Like, these people are also just like us. Give them the same level playing field and let them shine. You'll see that these guys will actually go above and beyond, and and what they'd be able to do for you. So it is a bit of a challenge in the work environment, but I think we have proved at RepStack that given the right type of environment, opportunities to connect regularly, talk to people, culturally connect, these guys will outshine any team, based anywhere in the world.
I love it. I think you guys mentioned a lot of stuff, but it sounds like really the main things are the tools, the training, and the community, right? You got to give them the right tools. They have to have high-speed internet, a decent computer. You got to make sure they've got the right, environment to shine. training, you got to train them up so they know exactly what their job is and how to do their job and the accountability structure to actually plug in and get it done. And then what I think a lot of us miss hiring virtual teams is community, right? Just because they live somewhere across the world and they happen to be working from home doesn't mean they don't want to be part of your community. Like, treat them like they're a full member of your team. Bring them onto your weekly team meetings and make sure that they can connect with other team members outside of their little Zoom communication. I think some great shares and some great insights there, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Josh.
Okay, so we've talked about why Pakistan. We've talked about why you guys. We've shared some cool insights on kind of managing a virtual team. I'd love to know, like, now that you guys are working with hundreds of digital marketing agencies, like, what are the hires that most agencies need right away that you guys are placing? And is there an order that you're seeing most agencies hire and place these roles with you guys?
Yeah, so it really depends on the journey that they're at. So, in terms of revenue, if they're below $50,000, Josh, usually what we recommend and where they have most success is starting out with marketing assistants who can, and also another thing that we've consciously done, Josh, is that we've stayed away from hires on the fulfillment side, because there's a lot of companies, amazing talent out there. Chris Martinez, there's so many people who are doing great work on fulfillment side. So we thought that, this is something that we want to intentionally stay away from. But having said that, the first hire, usually for your own agency, if you don't have that in place, which is, if you don't have your core marketing campaigns up and running, if you don't have your social media presence, if you don't have your podcast up and running right now, if you don't have an email list, a cold email outreach campaign running, and you don't have your niche identified, you should really be focusing on your own marketing first. We, as agency owners, we do a great job for our clients, but when it comes down to our own marketing, it's usually non-existent, right? So that's where you should be starting. If you're early on in your journey, if you're sub $50,000, start out with some of the campaigns that Josh talks about. Get the omnipresence going to getting a podcast up and running, launch some kind of email marketing campaign so that you can kind of lukewarm your prospects. And once and only once you have these campaigns set up, now your next hire should be a sales development rep who can now come in and they can start dialing some of these people. And it's not cold call. As soon as somebody comes up to us and says that, hey, I want to hire a sales development person, and they tell us that they don't have any marketing campaign set up, we're like, thank you, but this is what we recommend, right? So in a lot of cases, we're able to convince them that this is where you should be starting out at. So that's the point when you want to hire a sales development rep, so that these people can come in and they can call these somewhat of pre-qualified people. And as your marketing continues to grow, your sales team is going to inside RepStack, Josh, our sales department was the last department that we really fully hired for. For the most part of the last 2 years, we operated with 1 or 2 people. Right now, we're up to 5 or 6. But we didn't really need a sales team just because we had our marketing really, really dialed in. So start with your marketing assistants, build out solid marketing plan for your agency, and then you can go into the sales processes. Hiring an appointment setter for your closer is usually where you want to start out on the sales side, because this person is going to be keeping your sales closers calendars full. So without this person, your closer is not going to be able to succeed. So once you have these key roles filled out, I think you're going to be on a trajectory to be getting to 7 figures and beyond. $50,000, $60,000, you're getting to 20, 30 clients on retainers. This is a time where you want to start looking at account managers, which are in agencies like ours. Account managers have a huge role to play, because we work so hard to bring in these customers, and we want somebody to really take care of this amazing revenue streams that we've built out. And and like you say all the time, and I repeat it, that clients usually leave because of perceived indifference. And if you're still doing the account manager role as agency owner, I can promise you that there's going to be a ball or two that are going to get dropped. If not now, as you continue to grow, they will. So start thinking about bringing in account managers who live and breathe retaining clients for you on a daily basis. They'll be able to do a lot better job than us, and they'll be able to take your retention numbers through the roof. So those are the three roles. And then as you're approaching the 7-figure mark, Josh, I kind of started out this thing about a year ago where I hired an executive assistant for myself. And it's been a life changer for me. I haven't checked my emails for the last year. I haven't done any of my scheduling. And I haven't done, I'm extremely active on social media, but I don't do any of my posts at all. So everything is taken care of by my executive assistant. And she's also at the same level as any of our other hires. So, I think those are the 4 roles. Start out with your marketing assistants, get your marketing straight. Then you start slowly building your sales team, starting with a sales development rep, which is really an appointment setter. And then as your revenues are growing, start looking at building out your account managers and account management team. And then the final hire to help you as the agency owner should be your executive assistant, who's going to make sure that, only the most important things happen on your calendar on a day-to-day basis.
Love it. I think you just explained that so well, right? It's the exact logical progression that we suggest that I think works best, right? You're going to need those extra hands at different places in the evolution of the business. And the best part is, if you're curious and you're not sure, like, oh, who should I hire next? That's the first thing RepStack does with you. They spend some time to figure out where you're at right now. What are the bottlenecks? Based on that, here's where we should start. And they can put the right person with the right skills that can hit the ground running for you. So guys, amazing work explaining that. Again, if they want to learn more about your services, what's the best place to go?
RepStack.co. Easy enough. And if any one of these
/7FA.
Yeah, 7FA, we have a special link for 7FA members for sure. So if you're a 7FA member, you're working with Josh Nelson, we have something special for you for sure. So, check out repstack.co/7FA and you'll be in for a surprise.
Awesome stuff. Well, I think we covered a lot of really good ground here. Congratulations on building a multiple 7-figure agency in about 2 years, developing what I think is the very best virtual assistant service specifically for digital marketing agencies. And kudos on doing such an amazing job serving our members, right? I mean, you guys have become an integral part of what we do at 7-figure agency because we've got the training. And sometimes if you don't get those extra pair of hands to do the work, you don't get the outcomes. And you guys have just been such a great resource to plug our members into, where they've got the training, they've got somebody that understands it, they can help them actually execute. I think that's a really big reason we're celebrating so many of our members going to 7 figures and multiple 7 figures and beyond. So, thanks on that front as well. And kudos for the great work you guys have done. Anything else you want to add or share kind of as we come to the conclusion of today's episode?
No, I think it's been a great journey. One thing that I'd like to share, a personal success where when we see some of your members who are also our clients, they get up on stage on your intensives. One of our clients was up there who has 3 people from us, and we've seen that journey that they come inside 7FA, they start doing great, and then they start adding some of our people, and before you know it, within a matter of months, these guys are it's just coming together, and these guys are just crossing that 7-figure marks and things like that. It just becomes such a personally, it just becomes such a humbling experience for me to kind of see these people. And then we're at most of your events in Miami in person, and meeting all of these people when we're in the room and things like that, it's just become something that we enjoy and we genuinely like to do. And then the other aspect of this, Josh, is the people, the impact that the agency owners who are these people are working for. They're having such an amazing. These are over 200 people, but not just people. there are 200 families that they're having impact on. So, it feels like it's, this is a group of people, which is a small amount of people, but the impact goes way, way beyond. And in a part like Pakistan, where we come from a conservative society, 60% of our employees are females, and not just on the ground level, but also on the leadership side. We're seeing, out of our 6 directors, 4 are females, just inside RepStack. And, so all of those things combined, it's just been an amazing journey. Would not have started without you playing a pivotal role, Josh. Thanks to you. And thanks to 7-Figure Agency, and we're 7FA people for life for sure.
Love it. More money, more freedom, and a bigger impact. If you had one last piece of wisdom to leave with that digital marketing agency that's listening right now and just thinking, what do I need to do to get to the next level? Like, what would be that last piece of wisdom? And I'll let you guys have the last word here.
So I think I'll go really quickly. For me, I think I'll go again for 7-Figure Agency mantra is like, getting your time back. Nobody gets into work to work more, right? So if you're growing, the main thing is to get your time back. If you're working 80 hours a week, you can be multi-millionaire or multi-billionaire, that doesn't count. So what we give you is getting your time back. Don't go to your mom's house to have, just your favorite dish. Go to your mom's house, cook your favorite dish with her and eat it. That's the kind of time we're giving back to our clients, and that's the kind of freedom and the leaders that it's running. Like, as I said, 6, of our directors, basically they're running the show. Our job is now, just to go and see if they need our help. That's the kind of leadership roles that we're also providing to our clients.
Love it.
And one last thing on my side, Josh, is that, if you're still on the fence on getting a coaching service, I would highly recommend that, because, all our breakthroughs came when we became members of 7FA. It was when I first came in, it was a big investment for me at that time. But, over the last 2.5 years, all the breakthroughs that we've had are because we joined a program, your program specifically, and we were able to get those breakthroughs. So, and then, on our side, we actually have, we do a lot of number crunching and things like that. We find that we have better retention when our clients are members of 7FA or, a particular coaching group, because they already have infrastructures in place. They have the trainings in place and things like that. They just find the right people to execute it. If it's a agency owner who's not a member of a coaching program like 7FA, then it becomes a little bit harder to kind of, change their mindset and things like that. So for sure, invest in a coaching program. Josh's is hands down the best one. Highly, highly recommend. It's changed our life. So, for sure, go for 7FA.
Thank you so much, guys. Well, I think this has been awesome. Again, congratulations on your growth and success. If you're listening to this and you're still like, what, I need some extra help, maybe I should talk to these guys at RepStack to get some support. Go to repstack.co/7FA with the numeral 7FA. You can schedule in, you'll see these guys are very low pressure, right? They'll meet you where you're at. They'll help you decide who you need to hire. Sounds like they'll even give you the job description and kind of give you all the raw materials, which is going to be a valuable meeting of it itself. And if you decide you want to use their people, which I highly recommend, they'll plug you in with a really talented person that can hit the ground running for you.
This has been a pleasure, Josh. Pleasure talking to your community. It's amazing.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. Keep crushing it, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.